Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today, I thought it would be a really good idea to, as you can see here in the background, we can talk about the Pokemon Winds and Waves. So this video that Munching Orange came out with about, 24 hours ago, it is titled The Best Pokemon Winds and Waves Theory So Far. And for me, watching that video, it's amazing, amazing. But there's one thing that I've noticed between him, Sacred Almighty, Ruffle Rowlet, and a bunch of other YouTubers, they seem to be they seem to be missing something. So, with that being said, I think I might have found something, and we're gonna go into this. So if you are not new, um, like I said, I have a family. I have three kids. Me and my youngest daughter, she's into anime heavily. We started watching a bunch of regular Pokemon on Netflix. And then I forgot the Pokemon Concierge is on there. Now, keep in mind, I did watch episode one. I just never like went back and finished it. It's a really, really good series. If you haven't watched it, watch it. Because I'm all caught up now with it. I've enjoyed it thoroughly. But one thing that people seem to have missed was there was a scene in here which kind of gave away that we were going into the Winds and Waves theme. I don't know if I can find it without pulling up Netflix, and I don't want to get in trouble for it either. So, what I'm going to do is like look at this trailer for an example, right? I know you guys can't hear it, but I want you to look at it. What does everything in this trailer feel so familiar? Like, okay, I know I'm on the Netflix site. I don't really want to sit here and focus on it. But think about this. The whole entire Gen 10 region is based off of um these Asian islands. Now, keep in mind, even though it's based off of these Asian islands and has, I think it's, what is it, the Wallace line that separates Australia, you can begin to notice, like, okay, in Pokemon Concierge, you follow this girl named Haru, right? And she's like a concierge. Her job is to let the Pokemon live free, try to stop them from creating like bad things happening. I mean, they're Pokemon, they're like wild animals. Like if a giant Tyranitar all of a sudden lost control and started shooting flamethrowers all over the place, and no, has not happened. I'm just saying, like, her job is to try to get the Pokemon to calm down, figure out what's wrong with it, befriend it, and understand the Pokemon. And I think that's where we're coming at right now with Gen 10. So, with that being said, I don't know if I can find it on here. So, what we're going to do is we're going to see if we can find this. There was a scene, and I believe it's in the second episode because now I'm gonna go back and rewatch Pokemon Concierge. I think it was when she was getting close with when she was getting close with the Psyduck. They were doing some paintings and stuff. I cannot find this. I will look closer, but if you look at these symbols and stuff on here, they are way different than what we got for Winds and Waves. But there's a specific scene within season 1 where Haru and I forget what this is. But if you notice right here, even here, it says IGN Southeast Asia. Now, obviously, this was aimed, mainly towards kids and a lot of Japanese viewers, hence why it was in Japan. But if I was to actually click on this, if you look at the themes, like what is this? You're on an island. What is Gen 10 about? It's on an island. Also, not only is Gen 10 on an island, but the concept is winds and waves. On Pokemon Concierge, if you watch the show, there are subtle hints within the show that might give us clues into what is actually going to be in Gen 10, whether it be for the Pokemon, whether it's like a leak for the gimmick, or anything else of the sort. As you can see, we're staying in a resort. Now, I'm not saying this resort and concierge is what we're going to get in Gen 10, but think of it like this. Okay, so here's how Gen 10 might work. We've already have the Terra leak, and with the Terra leak, it tells us exactly what's going on. A dude has a corporate, I can't even speak. He has a corporation that is going through remodeling the land. We don't have the region name yet. There's been a couple speculations and stuff like that. I've done my own research, and if some people, if you actually take some of the Pokemon language, because I know that sometimes it's very confusing because all the hieroglyphs and stuff like that, all the shapes and stuff like that. But some of them you can make out to be letters and stuff like that, so you can kind of rebuild the name of the region and figure out what it is. There was a leak a while ago which showed magazines before the announcement of Winds and Waves, and in those magazines you can make out a few of the letters if you actually cross-reference them from previous games. It's really cool. Time consuming, but it's really, really cool. But my point being is we need to take more investigation into these tents that are going on here in in this. I'm gonna see if I can find it because it's when Haru is painting the tent and I'm trying to find the scene. Okay, so yeah, so this is where she draws a side up, right? We're not really worried about the Pokemon. And if you want to watch the show, it's a good show. But what we're watching right now is hard, right? It's not zoomed in on the tent or anything. I'm gonna see if it does it or not. Oh no, it's just on repeat. What the fuck? Okay. The whole point is if you have Netflix, right? You should really go and watch Pokemon Concierge because this is probably how Winds and Waves is going to look and feel, honestly. It won't be stop motion like this, but it will be. Yeah, the Pokemon should be running around freely, which we didn't see in the trailer, but we did see in the trailer that near the hotel they were running around freely. And I believe in one trailer, one of the shots specifically, was it a Smoliv? It was some sort of Pokemon, and they had these three color lights with the resort in the background, and they were just out in the field. This is probably what Gen 10 is. So, like I said, I'm not going to sit here and continuously play clips, but you can kind of just scrub through if you actually watch the show. You can take different scenes and stuff, and maybe I'll go back here and go through it. But this is her being terrorized by Pokemon. I don't really want to look for this right now. Like I said, it's oh, is that it? Yes, that is it. That is it. That is it. That is it. That is it right here. So, if you take a look right here, okay, we take a look right here, right? Now, you see a Starmie, right? And look, we just got Mega Starmie in Legends ZA. So, with that being said, I mean, hey, that must be a sign. But then you got to think, Pokemon Concierge is it's not even about any of the generations, but what if this was a subtle hint that they're trying to push onto us? Because if you look at the art and stuff, there's a Wailord, and Wailord has been confirmed in Gen 10. I'm just saying, like, this is not a coincidence. And I need to go back here and like actually look at this from the front angle. It's when she's painting this Pikachu. Let me see if I can. It's when she's painting this Pikachu is when you can see clearly like the front part of the thing. But even if you go just look around the islands and stuff like that, like you can literally see that this is built like a resort. And what if Pokemon Concierge was our introduction of what we're going to be doing in Gen 10? minus the concierge part, will still be a trainer, but the concept doesn't change. So you run around an island, you go explore, you meet all these wild Pokemon in their habitats, you bond and evolve with these Pokemon in their habitats. And as you're bonding and evolving in the habitats with the Pokemon, um, yeah, see, look, and there's also these like little weird like spirals that could be the winds because up here is the winds. But if I wonder if I can go back to that previous video. But if you look, they also have waves near the bottom on these tents, which is really, really cool. But you know, Pokemon, they like to put in subtle hints into stuff. That's why, like, when I go back and look at this, it makes it very, very difficult. But I thought it'd be really fun to be like, hey, you know, your favorite Poketubers, they're out here looking for hints and stuff, and sometimes we have that stuff right in front of us. Um, it's not much. There's no, 100% confirmation for none of this. Like I said, it's all just speculation, and it's just allegedly what I'm saying. But you know, your favorite PokeTuber, they probably do a lot of research, hunt stuff, and I just happen to be watching stuff with my daughter and figured I'd share to help out the community. But yeah, we're gonna have stuff like this, different weather stuff that goes on. I don't know about relationships with people. I heard there's gonna be voice acting, but everything else, I mean, if you watch Pokemon Concierge, you can get an overall feel for what it's gonna be like with Pokemon, especially with I forget what this guy's name is, the one that just shed a tear just a second ago. Yeah, him, this guy. And yes, I did watch. Like I said, I did watch all of season one. Um, and I've seen bits and pieces. Uh, for the second one, I just literally limited time trying to make content and doing other stuff. But this guy right here, he has the biggest love for his Celio. And I love Celio. I love the Walrein line. Walrein is probably one of my favorite underrated water type Pokemons because in Gen 3 it's one of my favorites. This man has so much love that he snuck his his Celio onto um the resort. And then when they try to get rid of him, he ended up getting a job here. I think people should go back and watch this. Even this is a dead giveaway that what they're working on. So we're going to make a video in the future breaking down um different things from Pokemon Concierge that we might see in the later games. But this is all I have time for this video. So I love you guys. Please like and subscribe. You will have, more content pumping out. So peace, and I'll see you guys later.